After my brother crashed the car I lent him, he blamed me for the bad brakes. My mom agreed. No wonder that old junk must have had bad brakes. I stayed quiet. Then I stopped funding my brother's college and my mom's health care. Now they're both at my door begging and crying. The phone call came at 2 a.m. Your brother's been in an accident. Mom's voice, shaking but controlled. The kind of calm that comes from shock. I could hear the hospital in the background, beeping machines, intercom announcements, someone crying. The antiseptic smell seemed to come through the phone line. Is he okay? He's fine. Broken arm, some cuts, but you need to come down here now. I threw on clothes, jeans, old sweatshirt, didn't bother with my hair, drove to St. Mary's Hospital through empty streets. The city looked different at 2 a.m., quieter, darker, more honest somehow. The emergency room was bright and cold, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, that harsh white light that makes everything look worse. People sitting in plastic chairs, a woman crying in the corner, a kid with a bloody nose, an old man clutching his chest, the smell of disinfectant mixed with coffee and fear. I found them in a waiting area near the vending machines, Mom sitting in a plastic chair, holding a styrofoam cup of coffee that had clearly gone cold, my brother Kyle next to her with his arm in a sling, 21 years old, college junior at State, blood dried on his forehead, bruise forming under his left eye. What happened? Kyle looked up at me. His eyes were red, tired, scared maybe. The brakes failed. I stopped walking. What? I was driving and the brakes didn't work. I hit a pole. Could have died. My stomach dropped, cold spreading through my chest. You were driving my car? Yeah, the Honda. Your car's a piece of junk. My car. The Honda Civic I'd lent him 2 weeks ago. Just for a few days, he'd said. My car's in the shop and I need to get to campus for midterms. 2 weeks had turned into permanent. Every time I asked for it back, he had an excuse. One more week, one more errand, one more thing. The brakes were fine when I lent it to you. Mom cut in, sharp, defensive. Her voice had that edge. No wonder he crashed. That old junk must have had bad brakes. You should have warned him before letting him drive it. I stared at her. The car passed state inspection last month. Clean bill. Everything checked out. Kyle scoffed. Actually scoffed. Inspection doesn't mean anything. Those places just want your money. They'll pass anything. You gave me a death trap. I literally drove it the day before I lent it to you. Drove it to work. Brakes worked perfectly. No problems. Well, they didn't work tonight. His voice rose, echoing in the waiting room. People turned to look. Nurses glanced over. I could have died because you're too cheap to maintain your car properly. Mom nodded, sipped her cold coffee, made a face but didn't stop. He's right, sweetheart. You really should be more careful about these things. What if he'd been seriously hurt? I looked between them, my brother, my mother, both staring at me like I'd pushed him off a cliff myself, like I was the villain in this story. Where's the car now? Impound lot on 5th Street, Kyle said. Totaled, completely destroyed. Thanks a lot. You totaled my car. Your faulty car totaled itself. He stood up, wincing at the movement. I'm lucky to be alive. No thanks to you. I felt it building in my chest. The anger, the disbelief, the urge to scream that this wasn't fair, that this wasn't my fault, but I swallowed it down, pushed it deep. I see. Mom touched my arm. Her hand was cold, shaking slightly. These things happen, honey. Accidents. Just be glad Kyle's okay. That's what matters. That's what family is about. I nodded slowly, mechanically. Yeah, glad you're okay, Kyle. No thanks to your car. I left. Walked through the automatic doors, into the parking lot. The air was cold, clean after the hospital smell. I sat in my borrowed sedan, borrowed from a coworker because Kyle had my car, and just breathed. Drove home in silence. The roads were empty at 3 a.m. Streetlights casting orange pools on the asphalt. Everything looked surreal. The next morning, I went to the impound lot. Gray building. Chain link fence topped with barbed wire. Guard shack at the entrance. A tired-looking man in a uniform barely glanced at my ID. I showed my registration, my insurance card, my driver's license. They let me through. Found my car in the back row, behind a minivan and a pickup truck. Front end completely smashed, the hood crumpled like paper, glass everywhere, shattered across the concrete. The pole had gone through the radiator, through the engine block. It looked bad, but something caught my eye. The brake pedal was fine, not stuck to the floor, not broken off, not jammed, just fine, normal, sitting right where it should be. I crouched down, looked underneath despite the oil and coolant leaking onto the ground. The brake lines looked intact, no visible damage before the point of impact. I took pictures, lots of them, every angle, the brake lines, the master cylinder, the pedal itself, the calipers through the broken wheel wells. Then I called Marcus, friend from high school. He'd gone to trade school instead of college, mechanic now, ran his own shop on the east side. Can you come look at something? When? Now? He met me there an hour later, showed up in his work truck, tool belt, grease under his fingernails. He walked around the car slowly, methodically, got underneath despite the broken glass and fluids everywhere. 20 minutes later, he stood up, wiped his hands on a rag. Brakes are perfect, he said. Well, were perfect before the crash. This wasn't mechanical failure. You sure? Positive. See this? He pointed to the brake pad through the wheel well. If the brakes failed, you'd see specific wear patterns here. Metal on metal. Fluid leakage there at the line connections. scoring on the rotor. None of that. These brakes were functioning perfectly until impact. So it was driver error. Yeah, he either wasn't paying attention, was going too fast to stop in time, or hit the gas instead of the brake. Happens more than you'd think. He looked at me. Your brother okay? Broken arm. He'll live. He blamed the car? Yeah. Marcus shook his head. Figures. Nobody wants to admit they screwed up. He pulled out a pad. Want me to write this up? Official statement? Please. He wrote it on his shop letterhead. Detailed mechanical inspection. Listed every component he checked. Conclusion, in bold. No brake failure detected. All components functioning as designed prior to collision impact. Driver error, probable cause. Signed and dated. Business stamp at the bottom. I folded it carefully, put it in my wallet. Then I went home and pulled up my records. I kept everything in a spreadsheet. Always had. Every payment, every transaction, every dollar. Kyle's tuition at state, $28,000 per year. I'd been paying it for 3 years. Full ride on me. That was $84,000. Mom's health insurance, $950 per month. I'd been covering it since Dad died 5 years ago. Heart attack at 52. Left us with nothing. That was $57,000. Her car payment, $380 per month for 4 years. The Camry she drove, another $18,240. Kyle's rent, $800 per month for 2 years since he moved off campus. $19,200. His groceries, roughly $300 per month. $7,200. Books and supplies, $200 per semester. 6 semesters. $7,200. Total, $192,840. $192,840. I'd given them that. Worked overtime at the firm, 60-hour weeks, skipped vacations, drove a 12-year-old Honda Civic with 160,000 miles on it, lived in a studio apartment with thin walls and a radiator that clanked, and they blamed me for Kyle's reckless driving. They didn't even question it, didn't even consider that maybe he'd made a mistake. I stared at the numbers for a long time. Then I opened my laptop, logged into the university's payment portal, found Kyle's account, typed carefully, effective immediately. I am withdrawing financial support for Kyle Martinez. All future tuition payments are canceled. Please direct all bills to the student. This decision is final. Sent. Then I called Mom's insurance company, waited on hold for 15 minutes, listened to elevator music. Premium Health Services. This is Donna. Hi. I need to remove myself as the policy holder for Patricia Martinez. May I ask why? Personal reasons. I see. I need to inform you that this will cancel her coverage. She'll need to find a new policy, and there may be a gap in... I understand. Are you sure? She's listed as having several prescriptions and ongoing treatment. I'm sure. Silence on the line. Okay, I'll process that now. It'll be effective at the end of the current billing cycle. That's 2 weeks from today. Thank you. Have a nice day. I hung up. Called the auto loan company next. Canceled my automatic payments on Mom's car. They said she'd need to set up her own payment method within 30 days or face repossession. Understood. Done. I didn't tell them. Didn't warn them. Didn't give them a heads up. Just let it happen. Then I went to the grocery store. Bought food for myself. Made dinner. Ate alone. Watched TV. Went to bed. The world didn't end. The sky didn't fall. Everything was fine. 2 weeks later, Kyle called. I was at work, in the middle of a meeting with a client. I let it go to voicemail. Listened to it during lunch. His voice was panicked. Angry. Call me back. Now. It's important. I called back an hour later. On my own time. What's up? The school says my tuition payment bounced. Did you forget to send it? No. Silence. Long. Heavy. What do you mean no? I mean I didn't forget. I'm not paying anymore. More silence. I could hear him breathing. What? You heard me. You can't just stop. I'm in the middle of the semester. I have finals in 3 weeks. You should have thought about that before you blamed me for crashing my car. That was an accident. No, that was you being reckless and refusing to take responsibility. The mechanic confirmed the brakes were fine. Professional inspection. It's in writing. The crash was your fault. What mechanic? The one I hired to inspect the car. Marcus Chen, ASE certified, 20 years experience, detailed report. The brakes worked perfectly. You crashed because you weren't paying attention. That's not, you can't just believe some mechanic. I believe evidence. I believe documentation. I believe someone with no reason to lie. I kept my voice calm, even. What I don't believe is you, because you lied. You blamed me instead of taking responsibility. Mom! I heard him yell, moving away from the phone. Mom! He's cutting me off. He says he's not paying anymore. Footsteps, shuffling, voices in the background. Then Mom's voice, sharp, angry. What is this about? I'm done funding your lives. Excuse me? You heard me. No more tuition, no more insurance, no more rent, no more car payments, no more groceries. Figure it out yourselves. You can't do this. Actually, I can, and I am. Why? Because of some stupid argument? No, because you blame me for Kyle's accident without even considering I might be telling the truth. Because you called my car junk. Because you made me the villain when I've spent almost $200,000 taking care of you both. Silence. 200. That's not, you're exaggerating. I have receipts. Every payment, every transaction, every dollar documented. Want me to email you the spreadsheet? Nothing. He's your brother, and you're my mother, but neither of you cared about that when you needed someone to blame. She started crying. Please, I can't afford insurance on my own. The premiums will be twice as high at my age. I have pre-existing conditions. I need my medications. Figure it out. I'm your mother. Then act like it. Stand up for me once in a while. Consider my side. Give me the benefit of the doubt. You know, all those things you didn't do. This is about more than the car, isn't it? Yes. What do you want me to say? Nothing. I don't want to hear anything from you. Please. Goodbye, Mom. I hung up. She called back immediately. I declined it. She called again. Declined again. Declined. Then the texts started. Please, pick up. We need to talk about this like adults. You're being unreasonable. I'm sorry. We're both sorry. Please call me back. Kyle is crying. How can you do this to your own family? I turned off my phone, put it in my desk drawer, finished my workday. Kyle showed up at my apartment the next night. I was making dinner, pasta with marinara. Simple, easy. The knock came hard, pounding, urgent. I looked through the peephole. Kyle, face red, eyes wild, breathing hard. I opened the door. You're ruining my life, he shouted, right in my face, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Mrs. Chen next door definitely heard. The school dropped me. I'm not enrolled anymore. You ruined my car. I'll pay you back. With what money? You don't have a job. I'll get one. Good. Use it for tuition. I can't afford tuition working part-time. Then work full-time. Or take out student loans, like millions of other people. His face went redder, darker, veins visible in his neck. Mom can't afford her medication without insurance. She'll run out in 3 days. Maybe you should help her. I'm a student. Not anymore. The school dropped you for non-payment yesterday. Didn't they email you? His face went white, all the color draining out. I thought you'd change your mind. I thought you were just trying to scare me. I don't make empty threats. You're my brother. You're supposed to help me. Family helps each other. I stepped closer, right up to the threshold, eye to eye. I did help you. For 3 years. I paid your entire way through college while working 60-hour weeks. I paid for your rent, your food, your books, your beer money, everything. And when you crashed my car, instead of apologizing or taking responsibility, you blamed me. You called my car a death trap. You told Mom I was negligent. You made me the villain to save your own ego. The brakes? I pulled out the mechanic's report, unfolded it, handed it to him. Read it. He took it, hands shaking, eyes scanning the page. I watched his face, watched reality hit him. The brakes were fine, perfect working order. You crashed because you weren't paying attention. You were probably texting, or speeding, or both, and instead of being a man and owning it, you threw me under the bus. I didn't know the brakes actually worked. Yes, you did. You knew. You just hoped no one would check. I was scared. So you lied. And Mom believed you without question. And neither of you apologized. Not once. Footsteps on the stairs. Heavy. Labored. Mom appeared behind him. Face tear-stained. Hair messy. She'd been crying. Makeup smudged. She looked older suddenly. Please, she begged. Voice breaking. I'm sorry. We were both wrong. We should have believed you. I looked at them. Standing in my doorway. Desperate. Broken. Pathetic almost. You should have thought about this before. We'll apologize to everyone. We'll tell them it was Kyle's fault. We'll post it on Facebook if you want. We'll make it right. Too late. Mom's face crumpled. What do you want from us? Tell me what you want and I'll do it. I smiled. Cold. Empty. The kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. Nothing. I don't want anything from you anymore. That's the entire point. You're really going to let your mother suffer? Let me go without my medication? You let me take the blame for 3 weeks. Never defended me once. Didn't even question Kyle's story. Didn't even consider that maybe I was telling the truth. So yes, we made a mistake. You made a choice. There's a difference. Kyle grabbed my arm, desperate. Please, I'm begging you. I'll drop out. I'll get a full-time job. I'll pay you back every single cent. Just help Mom with the insurance, please. I pulled my arm away. No, she'll die without her medication. She won't die. She'll just have to budget. Cancel the streaming services. Stop eating out. Sell some things. Get a cheaper phone plan. Maybe sell that car I've been paying for. You know, be responsible. Mom sobbed. Loud. Theatrical almost. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe my own son would be this cruel. I can't believe you blamed me for your son's mistakes. But here we are. We said we're sorry. Sorry doesn't pay my bills. Sorry doesn't fix my car. Sorry doesn't erase 3 weeks of being called negligent. What do you want us to do? I want you to leave. Please. I stepped back into my apartment, hand on the door. Goodbye. I closed the door. The lock clicked. Final. They stood there. I could hear them through the wood, crying, pleading, voices mixing together. Please open the door. We're sorry. We're so sorry. Please. We'll do anything. I'll get a job tomorrow. I promise. Please don't do this. I walked to my bedroom, put in headphones, turned on music, loud. Eventually, they left. I heard their footsteps on the stairs, going down, fading away. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls, 32 texts, 6 voicemails, 3 emails. I deleted them all without reading, without listening. Then I blocked both numbers, blocked their emails, blocked them on every social media platform. Made coffee, toast, sat at my small kitchen table, ate in silence, and went to work. Made coffee, toast, sat at my small kitchen table, ate in silence.